Hi guys. So today I'll quickly show how to calculate a simple size and a test duration, okay, when performing a pre-test analysis. The goal the goal is to use the weekly traffic and conversions to then do calculations to find our MDE, all right, our minimum detectable effect. Okay. Once we have that, it will determine how long we should run our A/B test for. Okay. A/B test, you don't just decide, okay, I'm gonna change this button color and I'm gonna try it for a week and see what it does. All right. You have to calculate stuff to know, do I need to do it for a week for it to be valid, or 4 weeks or 6 weeks? All right. So in this video, I'll show how to calculate that. So let's say we want to do an A/B test experiment. The test we want to do on our website is we want to display the return policy on the cart page. Okay. The number one step will be to find the weekly traffic and weekly conversions. Okay. So what you do, you go in your data tool. In our case, it's a GA4. Create a free form to find weekly traffic and weekly conversion on the cart page. You set up the date to last 7 days. Dimension to device category, metrics total users, and segments the cart visit. All right. Once you have that, it's going to look like this. What you're going to do here is that depending on if you want to run the test only on mobile, only on desktop, or on both, you're going to take your number that you have. Okay. In my case, it's total users 844. Okay. Since our test will be running on all devices, I'm going to take 844. Then we're going to set up a sequence. Okay, what's a sequence? Let's say you run an A/B test on a homepage. You want to see how many people who started on the homepage ended up purchasing. All right. If you don't create your sequence well, the users could start on the product page and purchase, and then go back to the homepage afterwards, and this would still be calculated as the user went on the homepage then purchased. All right. So it would mess with your data. Okay, it's really important in pre-test analysis that you set up your sequence well. Okay. You also need to make sure that your URLs are unique. Okay, you don't want to have two URLs that are the same, let's say, or it has the same keyword, and then your data will just be messed up. Okay, your freeform should look like this. Okay, all right. Then once you found your conversions and your traffic, you're gonna go on Spiro A/B test calculators, or you can also use a spreadsheet. I use a spreadsheet because I can keep the numbers. But yeah, just so simple for you guys. I'll do it with this A/B test calculator that you can find for free on the web. You select pre-test analysis. This is the spreadsheet I use. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to enter the traffic here, and then the weekly conversions. Number of variants is 2. Basically, we're going to have the old page and the page with the new thing that we're trying to test out. And then here, confidence level. You can play with confidence level, all right? It has to be between 95 to 90%. I wouldn't touch statistical power. So what it does here, it shows you the number of weeks that you should be running your tests, depending on your MDE. Okay, how do you know that? Your MDE should be below 5. As you can see here, it doesn't have enough traffic. So even when I put the confidence level to 90, let's say, I still don't get to 5% here. So for this test, I'll just 10x the numbers, all right? But you shouldn't do that in real life. I'll show you later what you would need to do in real life. But yeah, our MD should always be 5% or lower. So in that case, you can see the lowest is 13.77. We couldn't test that efficiently. The solution here would be to find micrometrics instead and move confidence level to 90%. The more traffic and conversion you have, the more variable you can test at the same. Okay, before this example, I will text. So, okay, come back here. I 10x the numbers. I move the confidence level to 90%. So you can see that at 3 weeks, we're at 5.15, but at 4 weeks, we're at 4.45. All right, so I'm going to run this test for 4 weeks. So yeah, as you can see, it would take 4 weeks to reach MDE below 5% and get statistical significance. Conclusion. So to know if display the return policy on the cart page, the test we're trying to run would increase our CVR. We would need to run the A/B test for 4 weeks. At the end of this 4 weeks, the result would be 90% reliable. Important things to do when preparing an A/B test. Make sure your URL structure is not corrupt, like I said earlier. So yeah, all right. If you don't have enough data to reach MDE below 5%, okay, like in our case here with the data of the website, there's a few things that you can do, okay? the first thing you can do is set the KPI to a micro conversion. Okay, so instead of tracking the transaction, you can, let's say, track the cart page view. Okay, so let's say in our case here, maybe this is the transaction, but the cart page view could be twice as that. Okay, so we can set that as our KPI and conversion. Basically, you go down funnel steps. Okay, you can go 1 step, 2 step, or 3 step below, depending on how low your website traffic is. Another thing you can do is make big radical change above the fold. Okay, and test for 6 weeks. Okay, at the MD around 15%. Okay, so the MD is going to be bigger, so the chances of a false positive or false negative, it's going to be higher. But yeah, that's just the way we do it with low traffic websites. Example, instead of changing a button color only, you change the image, the bottom copy, anything you see a necessity from the expert review. Step number 3, you will need to run an A/B test with a lower significance level. When you do so, you need less data to find potential A/B test winner, but it still will not be statistically valid. That will give you an indicator that it might work. The fourth thing you could do is implement the test idea from expert research. Okay, so let's say you've seen online that this expert says that when you change this button to this color, it increases conversion rate. Then you're going to focus on that a lot because you don't have much data. So you need to go with the expert review at first. And then heavy qualitative testing. Okay, what do I mean by that? It's like when you run an A/B test, have a lot of surveys, test people, conduct 5-second tests just to validate your ideas. All right. So let's see how real people react to them. Okay, try to get as much information as you can from a user testing your website. It's going to reflect a little bit the data, okay, but quicker. So yeah, that's what you should do.